In the past, 495 has consisted of a 0 credit hour by arrangement class that you have done completely independently on your own. And what we've decided to do is remodel the way the senior thesis works, so that instead of this being a 0 credit hour extra workload for you, it becomes a 3 credit course that you will be completing next term under my supervision. Right? The class will take place Monday, Wednesday at 3:30 to 4:45 in grades 3:14, and is intended to provide you with capstone experience that builds on and culminates everything you've worked on with us over the last 3.5 years. The focus of the course is that you generate a significant research project based upon something you've done in a previous 300 or 400 level class. Now this could be a topic, it could be a research paper, it can be anything within the constraints of that 300 or 400 level class that you will expand over the course of next term into a substantial research paper. In this, it is exactly the same as the pre-existing History 495 that you signed up for when you became a history manager 2 or 3 years ago. The only difference now is that you are doing this within a cohort and earning credit for it rather than on your own for 0 credit. Now this is intended to provide you not only with a capstone for your time here, but also to provide you with something to take away from us. A significant written research assignment that you can then share with graduate schools, potential employers, as an example of the analytical abilities that you have developed here. Those of you who are thinking of going on to graduate programs will be required to provide a research sample. In the past, you would cobble this together from a research paper that you've done from somebody's class. Here, you will be developing an article-length piece of work that will put you ahead of the competition as you go out to seek employment and graduate opportunities. As well as producing a substantial written assignment, you will also be doing 2 other things during the course of the term. Firstly, you will be delivering oral presentation of 10 minutes on your research. This is an opportunity for you to condense your research into a palatable microcosm of what you've done, but also to celebrate what you've achieved, both with your colleagues here, friends, family, and the wider community. And finally, your ACAT exam. In the past, this has been done ad hoc as needed and been done purely at home on an online basis. you will now complete the ACAT exam through 495. Now all of this probably couldn't care less about, were it not for the paper and how this course works. You will take a topic of interest to you and develop it into a roughly 10,000 word paper, right? That will be completed according to the Chicago style. Now when we get to the beginning of next term, we will take a bit of time to go over the Chicago style with you. If you haven't already been using it in classes, it is accessible online. And I would also recommend getting the manual style book or Turabian for your own reference, so that you have it available for you when classes start on January 8th. Now with this reorganisation, I need you to do some things for me this term. You have one term to produce a significant research paper, right? That's a lot of work, and I don't want you to be swamped. So what I need you to do this term is to identify the topic you wish to work on. I need you to think back through all the class 300 and 400 level classes you've taken and decide what area you would enjoy expanding as the basis for your 495. Now it can be a research topic that you've done, say in my class, or it can be a topic we talked about, you didn't necessarily research, but you were interested in. It can be anything that you are interested in. You've got a real affectation for doing dentures in the late Roman Empire, find me a man, because I'll direct you to Danbury. Right? Now what you'll need to do is identify a course and a topic that you are interested in. And then you'll need to go and discuss that topic with the faculty member who instructed you in that course. Right? You will need to go to a tenured or tenured track faculty member to discuss that option with them. Right? You need to be prepared with ideas, to have concrete suggestions that they can work with you to come up with a manageable topic. This is absolutely fundamental that you do this. The key to writing any research paper of any size is identifying the topic itself. You will scupper yourself if you do not adequately define a good topic. So quite literally, as I dismiss you today, I want you to go over to Willingham and make an appointment with one of the tenure or tenure track faculty that you're interested in working with, right? The sooner and more often you can talk to that person, the better prepared you will be. Now, I want you to come back to me with a signed piece of paper. And this piece of paper will include the name, the title of your thesis, the name of the primary advisor and their signature, and your signature, so that I have proof that you have spoken to the faculty member in question, you've got their approval, and you can deliver this to me by 4:30 on Monday, November the 18th. So you've got about 3 weeks. Right? This is essential. If you do not give me this by 4:30 on November the 18th, you're not taking 495. Alright? Because you will have no topic, you'll be starting in January, so far behind everybody else that there will be no way you will be adequately catching up. Alright? So I will meet you all in at most 3 weeks' time. Is that abundantly clear? The response at this point is yes, sir, I believe is appropriate.
Yes, sir.
I like this. Wow. Are you sure you don't want to all enroll in some of my classes? I mean, I don't get any of this respect from my lot. Brilliant. Wow. Well, it's going to be a good term, this is right. Now the department will meet the following Wednesday, and we will oversee your 495 topics, and unless there is a major problem, at that point you will be welcomed into our 495 cohort. Now the reason for doing this early is twofold. Firstly, some of you, for example, if you decide to do dentures in the later on in the world, may find that you need to do some additional reading. And you have the Christmas vacation to read a book, right? But it also enables you to apply for money as well. The Centre for Student Research has a research scholarship available, the deadline for which is Friday, November 8th. This is a golden opportunity to get that line on your resume and get that money to help you complete this research. All right? All of you, as you go out into the job market, will discover that your BA or BS means nothing. Everybody you're competing against has the same degree. What you have is additional lines on your resume. And part of that is catered for by now going through this 495 process, but also by getting yourself a student research scholarship. All right? Make sure you follow up the link and go and apply. And if you need any assistance, any of that, come and talk to me. Now, if you miss the deadline of November the 18th, you're out of luck. No more history 495. The second thing that will weed you out from the crowd is the ACAT. Now this is your exit exam. Now we used to have you take the praxis exam, which would cost you $120. And we didn't think this was very nice of us, particularly after you've paid all this money. So this one is paid for by UNM. So you get a free exit exam, right? They have generously all our stuff. Now we will be taking the ACAT exam in class on Monday, April the 27th. We're in the process of finding a nice big computer lab for you to take it in. I will get the authorization codes. I will distribute them to you. This is not something you have to study for. This is not something you have to worry about. This is intended just to judge where your general knowledge of history is at the end of your time here. So if you really want to appear smart and ahead of the curve, then do study as much as you can, but you don't have to, all right? This is something for you to just come in and test your passive learning. Okay? It's not. I am not going to base any grade on what you do in the ACAT. All I need to know is that you have taken it. It's a graduation requirement of the history program here, and it's easier for us to make sure you've met all the requirements and easier for you to remember to take this exam if you have me or somebody like me reminding you that you need to take it. All right? I will go into this in more detail at the beginning of next term. But we will not be meeting as a class on a regular basis. We will meet on a few occasions through the course of the term. We will meet on January the 8th to go over the requirements of the course, the requirements of the syllabus, and then essentially you have a series of drafts and meetings with your primary advisor for the course of the term as you work with that faculty member to complete your paper. All of these deadlines are compulsory. All right? And there is a reason for this. About, when was it? 2009. I went into the university library and I hear this plaintive cry, "Hey, Dr. Lowe, what are you doing here?" I'm like, "Hi, Mindy, what's happening?" And 5 of my History 495 students had monopolized one of the conference rooms in the library for the previous 4 days. The 4 girls hadn't left the room, the 5 girls hadn't left the room in 4 days. They stank, right? There was more iron brew in there than I've ever seen in my life. It's an energy drink, right? They hadn't slept for 4 days because they'd left their 495 thesis until the very last minute. It was quite good actually, because I don't often get to fail people, right? So it was really neat to be able to be like, yeah, I have standards. I've actually failed 5 people this term. Makes you feel good. You know, it's like... So if you want to do that, please miss all the deadlines, and then I get to fail. But as you meet these deadlines, it means that instead your paper will progress smoothly. All right? Now your first draft is due on March the 18th. Second draft on April the 8th. Now what I will have you do as well, I learned a long time ago that you are all aspiring J.K. Rowlings, right? You think that your research paper is the most beautifully crafted, beautifully written, poetic piece of work I will ever read. And I don't want to have to break the news to you that it isn't. So what I'm going to have you do is pair off and review each other's paper. Because by reviewing somebody else's work, it helps you understand the strengths and weaknesses in your own work. So after your work has been reviewed by your primary advisor and by your student peer reviewer, on April the 22nd, you hand in your final completed piece of work. This also gives you the opportunity to take advantage of, in some ways, the most important date on that calendar. A date you want to mark right now. Saturday, April the 18th. That's the day we will gather in Wesleyan Hall and you will deliver your oral presentation of your research. Now the good news is there will be food, so that's an added incentive to come. But this is also a celebration of what you have achieved, which is why you have to be passing the course to participate. This is a chance to show off to yourselves, to your colleagues, but it's also a chance to show off to your parents as well. So you are free to invite all and sundry to come and listen to you on the 18th, right? This is our opportunity basically to congratulate you on a job well done and to do so publicly. Final date, May the 1st. That's when your primary advisor will give me a report on what you've written, and I will then prepare your grade for the course. Now, whilst you will know and love me from afar, your primary relationship over the next term will not be with me. It will be with the person you identify in the next 3 weeks as the person you want to write your 495 paper with. Right? This faculty member will be the person who is responsible for all content and topic discussions. I'm not qualified to teach US history. I would not dare attempt to do so. So I won't be stepping on the toes of your advisor, right? They will be the people who read your paper. They will be the people who give you additional reference material. The only thing you need to worry about with me are the deadlines that I've told you about. Right? Now, your primary advisor may determine that they want to see more drafts from you. Alright? That's up to them. That's up to your relationship with them. It is not their responsibility to come and track you down. It's your responsibility to track them down. Alright? And this is not because I believe in ivory towers and hierarchies, right? But because they're like me, which means two things. They're far too busy and they're far too disorganized. Right? So if you expect me to track one of you down and contact you, good luck. Nice meeting you. You need to be the squeaky wheel, right? You need to make them work for you, right? the more you can meet with your primary advisor, the more they can help you. Right? You want to be the face that they scream about at night. Oh God, it's not Nathan again. Shit. Right? Don't worry, we don't really scream. Okay? They are responsible for 70% of the grant. And if they decide that you're not making a C- or above, they get to call an end to the whole thing, right? So that's the person who is responsible for the bulk of your grade. I'm only responsible for logistical matters. I'm responsible for making sure you meet all the deadlines, that you format your paper correctly, that you present your research on April the 18th, you take the ACAT, you participate in peer review, and you do one thing for me. And that is you keep a journal of what you are doing through the course of next term. Right? So that I know you didn't book a room in the Collier Library on the 27th of April and have a 4-day binge. Alright? Now, we will only meet for the peer review. We will meet the week before the presentation to practice and put ourselves at our ease. And we'll meet at the beginning of term as well. So we will not meet on a regular basis. But it is important that we meet to ensure that we all keep up with deadlines, what we're meant to be doing and when we're meant to be doing it. And for this reason, my bit of the class is compulsory. Alright? We'll meet half a dozen times in the course of the term, but we will meet. Alright? If we don't meet, you're going to start forgetting deadlines, and you're going to get to a situation where you're in the Collier Library 4 days before the due date, and you haven't bathed or slept. Right? And it was as unpleasant for them as it was for me. Cumulatively, this is the remaining 30% of the grade. Now, as this is all new to you, you are free to ask me questions at any point. Alright? The more I talk to you, and the more you talk to your primary advisor, this will be seamless. Right? This is no more work, no harder than 495 previously. The only difference is that by getting our work organised and doing it in plenty of time, it will be much easier for you. Alright? We've had far too many people pull in a 4-nighter at the end of term. And the great tragedy is that however much work they put in on a 4-nighter, you ain't going to do it. Now you can contact me by phone. You're welcome to engage in an exercise in futility if you want and leave a message. someday when I work it out, how to use it, I will read this message and be like, who the hell are you? Oh, you're in 495 back in 23 years ago. So email me is the best way to get in touch with me. Some days I get about 75 or 100 emails in a day, right? So the 35 minutes we've been here talking, I could well have got 20 or 30 emails, which means that your email, if you emailed me at 3:25 today, you're now on screen 2. I ain't going to have any time to get to screen 2 of my email in tray anytime in the near future. So if there is a delay, it's not because I'm deliberately ignoring you, it's because you've been lost in the welter of other emails. So just be the squeaky wheel. Email again. WTF, I wrote to you 3 months ago. Right? And I will do my best to answer every question. As will your primary advisors. But for practical, logistical questions, come and talk to me. For topic-related, content-related questions, talk to them. It is entirely up to you who you want to work with, what topic. Go prepared with some suggestions and go and talk to prospective advisors as soon as possible. All right? Now I will hand these out. Any questions?
If we attend a graduating science, like the spring 2021, is there a list to take next year?
Yeah, absolutely. It will be exactly the same next year. It might not be me teaching 495, but it will be exactly the same. This is a permanent change. Those of you who are doing it, planning to graduate in 421. 421? 421 was my old early and high middle ages class. Damn. Those of you who are I don't know why I start. Those of you who are planning to graduate in the calendar year 2021, take this class spring 2021. If you're planning to graduate at any point in the calendar year 2020, you need to take it next term. This will not be offered in the summer, it will not be offered in the fall. So if you're graduating fall 2020 or summer 2020, and you don't take it next term, you're not a history major anymore. Right? Yes, sir? Yes, sir. Right, yes, sir. Any other questions? You're sitting here, thank God we only have to have him for a couple of days. Huh? Cool. Get talking to people and email me or drop by my office if you have any questions. This will be posted online. You can go on the YouTube channel in a couple of weeks, maybe 3 weeks. Depends how long editing and so on takes. And apparently it takes like 10 hours to post a video. Okay? Cool. Well off then, and I will see you all on January 8th.